Welcome to the Kickstart Your Edge Play to Win Leadership Podcast,
where we've flipped the script with our groundbreaking modus operandi to bring you real, relevant, and relatable tactics and techniques to master your own play to win mindset.
Talk about a superpower. It's time to iron your cape.
What we know for sure is what got you here won't get you there.
You can't see the spinach in your own teeth.
And finally, hang on, because this one is really deep. Once you realize that you are the traffic, everything makes complete and unadulterated sense.
Welcome to The Edge, where playing not to lose is not an option. One of my favorite things, Karen, that you'll say is, it's time to think about our thoughts.
Totally, right? Think about your thoughts without overthinking your thoughts.
It's interesting because nobody ever taught us how to think.
No, but people tell you what to think because that's what they think you should think.
Oh, totally, right? And they also show you what to think by what their actions are. I mean, we were taught, like, how do you do math? How do you use your brain to read? How do you do scientific experiments? But really our thoughts, like, how many thoughts do we have in a day?
Like 60 to 80,000.
Yeah. Boom. Nobody ever said, hey, pay attention to what you're thinking as you're going through your day-to-day life.
Right. You know what's funny, though? Remember the other day, I don't know, you were thinking, you said something and it was, I don't know, you were doing something that was a little bit frustrating. And you said something that was not a very empowering thought. And I don't remember what it was, but I had said to you, out of the 10,000 thoughts you could be thinking right now, you're going to pick that one.
I love it. And that was such a great moment, right? Because we have the choice to think anything that we want to think. Totally, right? And so when we pick a disempowering thought, or this sucks, or it's hard, or I can't do it, or my team's terrible, or I wish they pull their stuff together, or we're never going to hit our results, any of those kinds of thoughts that come, there's so many other thoughts that are available to us. And so while we haven't been taught how to think about our thoughts, we now have that power to be able to do it.
Right. And this is truly, well, it can be a mic drop moment for you if you could really wrap your head around the concept and know that every thought you think can be a choice.
Yeah, I'm letting that sink in.
Or dropping a mic.
Or dropping a mic.
Right.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Sometimes we'll have a default thought. We'll just have a thought that comes up. And then it's about saying, what do I think about that thought? Right? Not that we can be doing this all day long about every single thought that we have. But it's interesting. When I realize, it's funny, a great example of this is running.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes when I'm like, I need to go run, I don't really feel like it. That's a default thought that hits. The moment I hit that thought and I hear myself think that thought, I just sit there and say, but my run's going to be great. I'm going to love it. I can't wait to get outside. And I automatically choose my next thoughts because my regular brain is just like, you don't really want to run right now. There's so many other things you want to do. The truth is that's not true. I want to run.
But you know what happened, though?
What?
Is you retrained your brain.
Mm-hmm.
But because that's the part of this, right? That you retrain your brain and you know that you can retrain your brain to think in ways that are going to bring you positive emotions. And with those positive emotions, you're going to do positive things that are going to give you what, Jen? Freaking results that you want versus, oh my gosh, I don't feel like going to run. And then you come back. And although you might feel okay when you come back and glad that you did it, it's a different mindset than when you went into it.
Well, even thinking about it this way. So let's say you're a leader in the work environment and your thought is, I don't want to go to this meeting. This meeting's going to be a waste of time. And then how do you show up at that meeting? Disengaged, not actively participating, finding out all the flaws, checking your watch, wishing you could check email. And then it becomes being a waste of time. So there's so much to think that the moment we're like, I don't want to do this. Think of 3 reasons why you do. What might be helpful? How might you show up? What is it that you can do to make a difference? It is about retraining the brain. Our brain, oh my God, like a brain is the best tool that we have in life, right? Not just in terms of IQ and how smart you are, but if you can master your play to win mindset, oh my God, it's such a game changer. Way back when, our brain was used for survival. We had to, right? We had to figure out how to avoid pain. We were seeking pleasure. We wanted to do it with the least amount of energy that was possible because life was hard. There were saber-toothed tigers, and we just really were in that survival kind of living. But we no longer have to put that energy and that effort into being safe or fed or warm or connected. We have such a high level of comfort available to us now. It's that the brain now is ready for new adventures, new challenges. It's about being able to make the next evolution of who we are even more purposeful because we don't have to waste our brain energy on the basics. Right?
Yeah, and it's interesting because that really is a waste of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Like why waste your energy doing that? And it's about how then do you continually create what it is that you want next on purpose.
Yeah, it's really about saying our next evolution has to be purposeful. So now, because we have the basics of life, how are we motivated by the opposite of comfort and safety?
And I think that some people might have just freaked out right there because so often people are looking, like we talked about in our last podcast, about that comfort. And the comfort and the bunny slippers, that's not going to get you to the next evolution of yourself. That's the, what got you to good isn't going to get you to great. And bunny slippers and a comfortable chair is going to give you just that comfort. There's no stretching or challenges that are going to happen there. So you have to give up the familiarity of comfort to grow because you just don't from a place of comfort.
Yeah, and it's giving up the unconscious thinking and being more conscious about what it is that we want to create and what it is that we want to experience.
Yeah, and I think, Jen, that what we kind of started this off with is that you really get that choice to think about what you want to think about.
Oh, it's such a privilege,
Yeah,
right?
It really is.
Because as human beings, we have that ability. We get to think about our thoughts. We have the ability to learn how our thoughts create the results that we have in our life. So often we blame things on circumstances, other people, things out of our control, the economy, the state, the culture of an organization, all those different things. And we say it's the circumstances' fault of the way that we feel, when the reality is it's our thought about the circumstance that creates the feeling. It's like, to be able to get this at the level that is the game changer, it's really about taking ownership of how do we evolve to the next best version of ourselves. And we do that by thinking about our thoughts.
Right. So it's not about the thing. It's just you're thinking about the thing.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can think any way you want about the thing. That's the part that's the choice.
Yeah, and if we can catch ourselves from that default thought to thinking on purpose, to consciously saying, what do I want to think? To not defaulting to the I don't feel like it, to here's 4 reasons why I want to do this.
Yeah.
It allows us to be able to really move fast because we no longer need the basics of life. We are given the privilege and the honor in today's world to push it the next envelope, like push it further, bigger, more expansive, And really, opportunities are everywhere.
Yeah, big time. And in closing, it's fun. I know, shocking, guys. I was reading another article, and it talked about that somebody should pull us aside when we're about 25 years old and let us know that we can stop taking our parents' thoughts and that we should create our own. Because we so often, it's like, oh, because my mom and dad do this, my parents do this, my parents do that, and all the people around us put these thoughts in your head. And now it's the time to say, wait a second, those are not my thoughts. And you get to create your own.
I love it. The power is totally there. It's time to think about your thoughts. Thanks for listening to the Kickstart Your Edge Play to Win Leadership Podcast.
Craving more? Of course you are.
Check out our website at kickstartyouredge.com,
where we fire you up, fan the flames of your competitive edge culture, and ignite your tenacious pursuit of an all-out play-to-win mindset.